Hi guys, how y'all doing? Hang on, wait, we'll do that meme that, the one, hi, hey, how y'all doing? That one, it was from I don't know. Alright, let's see. Oh, cringe. You don't like that? Jealous. Y'all jealous. Hi guys, how are you doing? Happy Pride. Hello. Hi everyone. Alright, let's get my therapist friend involved. Hi. Oh my god, you're so pretty.
Oh, you're so pretty. Hi, I'm so glad I love that someone just said, can you go live with someone? Yeah. Listen.
It was planned.
Listen.
She was booked and gigged.
Hi, my love. How's the takeover going?
Good. I'm just finishing up. We're in hour 7 now, I think. So we're doing pretty good. Posted some stuff, videos, pictures. How about you? How are you doing?
Oh, good. I'm good. I was excited to come on and talk Pride. I haven't really done anything social, except for trying to share.
Well, I mean, who can?
Black Lives Matter stuff. Yeah, I mean, that part. You and I are, I literally go on social media just to shout that Breonna Taylor, that we need some justice for her and for women and Black trans women. And so when you said you were taking over,
arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Continue. I just wanted to do that.
Oh man, it's freezing. Yes, yes. But also, what's been happening with Black trans women is really horrible and upsetting and disgusting. And so when you said that you were taking over for Pride, I was like, you know what? I'm coming out of hiding and we have a conversation.
Yes. Love it, girl. Love that. Braille Stone.
Although I think my internet.
17. Yeah, so it's,
Yeah.
It's really easy to get they said no profanity. I didn't swear. I stopped myself. You can't say I didn't have self-control.
You did.
Listen. No,
You see me and you just start cursing.
I know. I see you and I'm just like, it's like a long censor sound followed by, I love this woman.
I love you so much.
Yeah, it's been really, it's been a really weird Pride Month.
Yeah, right? I mean, there's so much to celebrate and be prideful for. And at the same time, human rights are being challenged and not honored. And that's something that we have to fight for. Yeah, it's I mean, you and I talk all the time, so I have private conversations, and you're such a fighter, and I mean, you're such a inspiring, iconic, just adorable. I mean, you're like, stop it, keep it going. Legislation, like law changes, I literally only laugh when I talk to you. I've been pretty much a grumpy poo, and then I get all.
Girl, I feel you.
But it's true. It's and I've been so proud of you and using your voice and your platform, and you are such an inspiration in just being who you are, and I learned so much from you, and am so inspired by you. And I mean, they all know that I call you for advice for everything because you're the smartest, most rational person.
Well, I am fairly confident I am the only thing keeping you from committing arson.
While also encouraging me to burn things down.
So simultaneously also encouraging you to commit arson. It is a fine line I walk.
It is a thin line. I know. Yeah. You
I
always
catwalk
burn
down that
everything
line.
down. Yes, but then you're like, let's hold on a second and let's burn it down, but let's be strategic in how we burn it down. I'm like, oh,
Absolutely. But now I feel like we've gone through so many situations where we haven't burned something down. When we finally do,
it's like a lot of buildup.
Yeah.
Also, our forces combined, it'll burn. I mean, there's
That's why they cut that Kelly Mia scene. They were like, "Whoa, this is too much, too fast, too strong."
I really spoke up about that scene before I knew it was gonna air.
No, me too. I was like, "You guys, we have this great scene," and then I watched the episode and I was like, "Where's the tequila?"
We were drinking.
It was it wasn't even actually scripted. They just came into my house and just kind of filmed through the window us drinking tequila. And they were like, scene, cut.
Yeah. We're natural. Yeah. We're natural plants.
I've been really, really impressed with you too, just lately this month. I think, you have, the social media game has been strong. It has been eloquent. It has been poignant. And I mean, you are setting an example, and you're doing a really phenomenal job of setting said example.
It's hard to stay calm and eloquent, and I know that we have these conversations privately, and I'm glad that we're getting to have this, but when your livelihood, when your life, when who you are as a person is being challenged, and you and I talk about this all the time, it's hard to stay calm.
Yeah.
It's hard to not want to burn the house down. It's hard to not want to cry, scream, and yell, and not be composed and articulate. And
well, it's so strange because it feels that when we do finally get angry, and when we do snap, and we do yell and scream for our rights and for our voices, then it's kind of like, oh, hey, why are you guys so angry? Stop yelling. Let's have a civil conversation. It's like, we've been trying for decades to have a civil conversation, and nobody wants to listen until we have to make ourselves the bad guys and yell and scream and throw a fit and demand, hey, I don't know how else to explain to you that you should care about other people.
And it's not like we're asked, it's literally civil rights, equality. It's not asking for anything more, not asking for just to be recognized as a human.
I would love a Mercedes, but I will settle for my rights.
Yeah. And the fact that, and like I said, you and I'm glad that we're having this conversation online because we have it offline, but to have to fight for such basic human rights is exhausting and frustrating.
Yeah, but I
am over. I'm so hurt by, I could cry, but, you see these videos of people dying at the hands of other humans, and, whether it's Black men or women, or, especially these videos of Black trans women, and you're just like, where's the humanity?
Right?
That's a human being, and we're all equal. How is that lost? How do any humans feel like they can take the life of another? And so this pride is different, I think, because there's a shift in consciousness of yes, we celebrate, but we still, and yes, thank God for representation, and thank God we get to be on shows that tell stories that matter.
I am so happy to be
doing that. But there's still a fight, and we have to fight.
Yeah, I mean,
and you and I are good at the fight.
That part. That is what the most radical thing we can do is exist openly and proudly and tell our stories. And I think that's part of the reason why I am so happy to be getting to tell the stories that we are and getting to be doing what we're doing, because when I was going around and I was talking before I was, a legendary pun dreaming superhero, I would go around and talk to schools and community centers about trans issues. But I think what's so different about my phone wanted to tell me never mind. Siri was interrupting. But something I'm so happy about that we get to do now is now we have a platform that reaches such a wide audience, and we get to show the humanity of queer people to, and we get to bring that into living rooms across the country and across the world. And, there's something to be said about, going to community centers and going to schools and giving that education. But to a certain degree, I was preaching to the choir. It was kind of already people who, they invited me, so they wanted to hear. They were okay with that. But now we can get into people's living rooms on Sunday, and we can be a Black gay woman and a sassy alien trans reporter, and we can drink tequila together.
Superhero.
Superhero.
Yeah, and that's a big part. Do you feel like, how does, I don't know how many people know, but you and your dad and like what you guys have done as a young child and the fight that you've been doing long before you were on Supergirl. Do you feel a shift in responsibility? Do you feel more pressure? Do you feel like it's easier to speak out? Like,
yeah,
I know the answer to this, guys. I'm just doing this for you guys. She's like one of my friends, but I'm doing it over.
You do it so well. Can we get a talk show where we just sit on one of those fancy couches and we'll like sip tequila and we'll be like, our next guest needs no introduction, but it's just
us.
Just introducing ourselves.
I knew where you were going with that. Oh no, it would be amazing, but then
we like pop out from behind the couch and we're like, it's me.
We would get shut down, but it would be a great 2-episode run. I think we'll petition for that. But do you feel that? I also don't know if people know how young you are and how young you were when you came into the show. You're so wise, but you are the baby. And how is that? I know even now with everything that's happening with Black and trans women, you feel such a responsibility.
Well, yeah, I think it's good because coming into this as an activist, I had kind of already set a bar for myself. Yeah. And I'd kind of already set the standard, I'm coming in here, guns blazing, talking about trans rights, and civil rights, human rights. And so now I think in this particular time, it's kind of like, how can I not continue to do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't backtrack. And so if there is a pressure, it's a good pressure. What about you?
Yeah. I think we're both, the reason I think we're so close is because we both cared a lot about these kind of battles before we became actresses. And I always thought that any success that I would have as an actor would be to be able to fight for these things. It's almost like an excuse to be able to do it. I just any voice that any of us have, that we all know what it's like to feel like we have no voice, to feel like no one's listening to us, to feel injustices, and to feel like we're screaming into a void, which leads to depression and loneliness and all kinds of horrible, isolating feelings. And so many people feel that way. And I think with people dying for being who they are, how they were, made to be, it is it's our job to speak up, not me and you, even just everybody that's listening right now, and to fight. This is the time. We both in our respective ways of being a marginalized group in this country are having to fight against people that are trying to change laws and legislation. I'm going to keep it PC because we're on Warnerbros TV. But against our human rights. And I can't. Like, if you are not going to allow someone to jog down the street or sleep in their home or marry who they want or have a child in the way that they choose to do it, then that's a problem. You're an enemy to me. And that's a battle that we're going to fight. Get ready.
I don't understand why.
Battle party. This is what this is. Suit up.
Yes. I love it. Listen, Pride.
Yeah.
All things considered, I think it has been a really, really successful Pride month. If anything, it has, I think, changed a lot of people's perspectives about what Pride is. I know me personally, it shifted. I think I went into this and I was kind of like, Pride's a celebration. And I still feel that way. And I still feel that it is an opportunity for us to kind of let go of all of the heavy stuff that, attacks our community every day, and just to kind of, celebrate being a part of the culture and the community. But I think for me and a lot of other people, it really opened our eyes to, okay, it is a celebration of the freedom to be openly queer, but not everyone has that same freedom, and not everyone can be openly queer safely. And Pride, at its core is a fight for our survival and for our right to exist. And I think that, going back to our roots with it, we're saying, Black Lives Matter, Black trans lives matter. We are fighting for our community. And so, yeah, I think, despite being in quarantine and despite, the pandemic and everything crazy going on, we've still been able to change so many minds and so many hearts. And I think just moving forward, I mean, we've seen how much change has already happened in the past month. I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. And I think next Pride season, it's going to be just really good. I think next Pride is going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, we spent Pride last year together in LA with Mel, and we went.
That was so much fun.
It was so much fun, and we
oh my god, it's such a good
danced our butts off for like 5 hours straight.
It was so good. Do you remember Candace?
No.
Candace was the dancer.
Oh yes.
She was
Candace Patton. I was like, Candace.
No, not Candace Patton. No. I mean, next year we have to get Candace to come with us.
Yes. Yes, I do remember Candace. I mean, we went to like that cowboy. It was amazing.
We went
Pride in LA is amazing.
For context, we went to Flaming Saddles in LA, and it was amazing. I love it. And there was this dancer, Candace, and she was like, she had the upper body strength of like Captain America, and she was crushing it, and she was beautiful, and just like, it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was a great time.
Melissa was like, I want to be friends with her.
Oh, fully.
This
like,
is
what
your
up?
moment.
Oh, fully. I still have a video of you guys with Candace on my phone.
We love Candace. Yeah.
Oh, I remember we were
but
just
it's
like,
interesting,
right?
Having
Should she be one of the stunt actors?
I know. I listen. That's still possible for next season for me. She should totally be my stunt girl. But
Candace.
Celebration is so important, right? And I think even in protesting and even in fighting and even in feeling defeated and sad, like our joy is such a testament of protest for people that don't want us to have joy. And I think that's so important. So thinking about Pride last year and how happy, we were, and getting to go with you and Melissa and dancing and celebrating was so amazing. And this year it's just a different form. But I do think that like finding joy, I'm realizing this week especially, and like celebrating ourselves is so important in this fight. It's part of the fight, right? Like, Yeah.
No, it is, it's not worth fighting for if we can't take a minute to be happy and to celebrate the victories that we've had and celebrate just being able to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen.
Someone said drag Chyler to the next Pride. Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yes.
No, I can't wait. I just think like what you're doing is so inspiring, and I don't feel like you get enough shine for it. In terms of all the work you do, and how you've really stepped up, especially with Black trans lives being just under attack, which is so. To be able to walk down the street is such a privilege. That so many people take for granted, right?
Absolutely.
And I think, you being so young and being so strong, and, I know because we're friends, like all the stories of you growing up and all the battles that you've had and fought, you've always been tough and headstrong and knowing what's right and wrong and not shaking on that. It's hard sometimes, especially.
It is really hard.
Yeah.
It is a really crazy time, and I think it is a lot easier for most people to just kind of like take I'm fine, I'm sitting this one out.
Yeah.
Kind of stance, because that's easier and that's more comfortable, and it's a heck of a lot less scary.
Yeah.
But
do you think when you were young and you did all that you did, were you just so young and like you had your dad's support in that way, and so you didn't know the gravity of, do you know what I mean? No,
homegirl, I was just trying to poop.
Yeah.
Listen.
Just trying to poop.
I'm just trying to poop.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I just want to go to the bathroom. I just want to go to the bathroom.
I didn't understand why it was such a big deal. I was like, I wasn't doing anything, and my friends were all cool with it, and
yeah.
I totally didn't understand, but I mean,
half of the battle is older are adults, right? Who think that they know better. I'm going to use this all over the place because they don't, and just don't understand. And if there were no adults, it might have been easier. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll be like that. It'll be like the Jimmy Neutron movie where all the parents get abducted.
Yeah. And then the world is fine. I mean, look at what
right up until someone falls and gets a boo-boo.
We could take care of each other. I mean, we're not. I keep thinking I'm a child. I'm an adult, but like,
you're a child at heart.
Yes, I am.
Here's the thing about actors: we all play dress up for a living.
True.
We're constantly trying to recreate and emulate what 5-year-olds do naturally, and far more convincingly than we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're a bunch of children.
We are a bunch of children, but children have a really beautiful way of knowing what's right and wrong, and when people tell you a system is the way it is and that you have to go along with it, they question it. And all
it is 100% something that's learned. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means it can be unlearned. Period.
Girl, you better tell them. Tell them. Were you still doing talks before COVID? And like speaking?
A couple. I had a couple planned too. But it's hard because we're filming the majority of the year, so it's hard to just get away because so many places want to book you like so many months in advance. And they're like, hey, what are you doing? 4 months from now, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
tomorrow. We don't know what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm like, how about I text you if I like magically have a weekend open up?
Yeah.
Like what do you, I mean, I know this, but I think it'd be interesting for people to hear what you talk about because you're so inspiring. Yeah. Well, I go and I talk about, my, family's story. Because I came out at a really, really young age, and we'd been working with our school, and I started transitioning publicly, and everything was going well. And when I was in 5th grade, this male student, not even another girl, a male student, followed me into the girls' bathroom, and forgive my profanity, but for the purpose of education, and said, my grandfather says we don't have to have any faggots in our school. And the school just completely buckled and stopped supporting our family, and they had me using a separate bathroom, you know, isolating me from the rest of the students, saying, you know, hey, here's this, you know, student who's so different from the rest of you that, you know, they can't be allowed to exist in the same spaces. And it just got to the point where we couldn't get the school to work with us anymore. And so my mom and my brother and I moved schools. And, you know, I went stealth. I went in the closet and I didn't tell anyone I was trans. And my dad stayed behind to keep his job at the university. And we didn't live together for 6 years. And we only saw him on weekends. And, you know, now everything's good. And, you know, now since quarantine started, I've seen more of my family than I ever want to see again. But, you know, so we started going around and we started speaking and saying, you know, this is what happened to us. And he himself had just been on a really, really incredible journey because he grew up very conservative, very poor. And he had these set expectations for what having twin boys was supposed to be like. And because I think the way we raise boys is so toxic and the way we talk about masculinity is so problematic.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like I think any resistance to masculinity is met with, you know, shame. And then, you know, outright rejection of masculinity is like, you know, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Richard? What's wrong with you, Richard?
Yeah. Tough it up. Don't cry. Be a man. All these like super toxic things that we tell children, young boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting because there's so much, there's so much that isn't addressed about family and like.
Yeah. I'm just going to plug my phone in. I'm listening.
Yeah. The dynamic of family and the sacrifices that have to be made. And I'm in love with your parents. They're like the sweetest, kindest, most amazing.
They're so cool.
They're so cool. And a lot of people don't have that support, you know, but even with the support, it was super hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, it is, but that's why we do what we do. We go on TV and we tell these amazing stories and we show, you know, trans folks and gay folks and bi folks and, you know, non-binary. We show queer people as people.
Yeah.
And we show them as happy and we show them loved, to show people who, one, don't have supportive families that it is possible and that there are people out there who love you. And that's what I love so much about Supergirl is that it is a story about a family and two of us are related, you know, no, they're not because she's adopted sisters. None of us are related, but we're I mean, it is I mean,
I'm kind of related to someone, but it's fine, Kat.
Oh, that's right.
Remember? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But okay, but he went to another town.
He went away. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a story about family, and you know, I think that is chosen family, and I think that's something that's really important for queer people. You know, as RuPaul said, you know, we as gay people get to choose our family. And I think that's really, really true. And I think that's why I'm so happy that so many shows now are starting to tell these stories. And they're starting to show queer people thriving and being loved and being happy. And I'm really excited to get back to that. I'm really, really anxious to get out of my house and get back to filming.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really hoping this next season we get to have some more Kelly Mia moments. That'd be really fun.
I know. I'm so glad that you shared that because I know so much about, you know, so much about like what you've gone through and your story, and it's so inspiring to me. And you know, you are my chosen family and I love you so much. And
I don't know what I'd do without you.
I know. I almost started crying I was like, I know all this, and I almost started crying when you were telling it. I was just like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of all that she represents and what she's gotten through. But it's incredible, right? As an adult to think about all you went through, it's like, to be apart from your family for that long, and I don't know as an adult, like almost, do you think you could, you know what I mean? It's
a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And all because, you know, other people feel a type of way about how someone should live their life.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, is, and we talk about this all the time, and I'm super passionate about it, but I don't think people understand how damaging their words are, how discounting words can be of someone's existence, how hurtful that can be, and not only how hurtful, how that can affect an environment. If that kid, which I'm not going to curse, hadn't said something, like your whole life and your family's life and your brother and your mom, it wouldn't have had to change. And so just being accountable.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the twist. It wasn't even the kid. It was his grandfather.
Yeah.
His grandfather was a part of this group, and they didn't think that my using the bathroom was okay, so they taught this kid hate. And they taught this kid, and they told him what to do, and they used him as a pawn to, you know, uplift somebody else's life. And that's the scariest.
Because it doesn't really uplift anyone's life, right? It keeps theirs the same. It just oppresses.
Yeah. Well, it uprooted my life. Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, it's heavy, girl. It's heavy. But then what?
The you know, the little piece of you changing the way in which things operate, no big deal.
Oh, well.
As like a child, no big deal. Will you talk about that? Just so inspiring.
Yeah, no, it was just, you know, when we left this school, my family filed suit on the grounds of unlawful discrimination. Because all of this was happening around 2007, 2008. And as of 2005, the Maine Human Rights Act listed sexual orientation, including gender identity, as a protected class. And so legally, the school couldn't have done what they did, you know, bringing me out of the bathroom and, you know, separating me from the rest of the students solely based on my gender identity was discriminatory. And that went, you know, after 5 years, it went to the highest court in the state of Maine, and they ruled that, yes, the school had acted unjustly. And that was the first time a state Supreme Court had ruled in favor of a transgender family in this situation. But what was so incredible about that was that it was in no way, shape, or form special, and my story was in no way, shape, or form different, because this is happening all across the country, and people are, I mean, every trans person I've talked to has a bathroom story, but, you know, now the Supreme Court just, you know, upheld our, you know, Title IX protections and said, no, you can't fire somebody for being queer. That's major, and that's only going to propel this movement forward, and it's only going to apply to everything else, you know, in the latest, you know, battle for healthcare. You know, now they can say, well, you can't discriminate against a person for being trans in the workplace. You should probably treat this person who's in need of medical care too.
Yep.
I'm going to turn my light on. It's getting dark.
Yep.
Do you like my little starlight?
I do. I like that you're turning the light on because you're preaching right now, and you need to be lit.
I need to be seen.
You need to be seen.
Hear me. Witness
this is
my experience.
That's when we had talked about doing this, I was like, oh yeah, if this just means that I didn't tell you that I was going to put you on the spot because you're so inspiring and humble, but I was like, oh no, the people
I thought we were just going to have a gay old time. Girl.
Oh no, the people need to know. We still can do that, but the people needed to know because it's so inspiring, Nicole. Like, it's so hard to make movement and change, and you were just, and it was personal because you just wanted, as you said so eloquently, to poop. And then you ended up, you know, I think you're so inspiring. And you know, for me, I think I get so upset and I operate out of emotion so much, which I think it's so funny when everyone says that I'm like, that I'm level-headed. I'm like, oh no, I've like run this by Nicole, because my original message is always like, burn everything to the ground. Like, equal rights.
It's not even a message. It's not even a message. It's just a video of you getting in your car.
Yeah, my therapist had said, therapy for all. Everyone needs therapy. She was like, maybe you should stop doing the all caps thing because it comes off a bit aggressive. And I was like, oh.
And you're like, really? I am aggressive.
Yeah, it's like I am aggressive. I had to stop. I had to delete Twitter for a minute because I was just yelling at everyone. Black people are dying. Like, people could ask me anything, and I just was like, I didn't care. I was like, you shouldn't care about anything else. Like, your focus should be on this. And I have to stop all caps yelling this because it's not effective. And like, we're so lucky that we have fans that are so lovely and they step in and they're like, what Azie meant when she was yelling at you was, here's a petition. Like, sign this.
They're like, here's some information. Here's some pamphlets. She just
when she yelled at you,
burn everything down.
Yes, what she meant was, here's some information on how you can, focus your energy on something positive. And it is emotional because it's life. It's people's life right now. And that's like step one. And, we're just saying that, like, Black lives matter. Like, how is that a controversial statement? Trans lives matter. Like, I could cry because matter is like, how is that an argument?
It's so fundamental.
It's so fundamental.
So, I mean, that is base level.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's controversial to say that.
Yeah. Someone just said we love caps lock Azie. Nicole does too, but then she's like, okay, maybe not.
I could be doing anything, and I'll get like a one word text from Azie. It's just like, girl, or okay. And I will drop whatever I'm doing, and I'm like,
you'll FaceTime me. You won't even like text me back. You just FaceTime me because you're like, okay, what's happening? And then I'm like,
yeah. No matter where I am, I'm like, hey girl, I'm in the bubble bath. I've got like a glass of wine. I'm like, I'm in the bubble bath. What's up?
Wait, who, what, when? I'm in.
Who?
What do I need to
where?
do?
When?
You
what's
once
going on?
were cooking in the kitchen and FaceTime me with a knife in your hand, and you were like, I'm ready. What are we doing?
What are we doing? A knife in one hand and my activity in the other.
Listen, if people don't get that human rights are a basic ask, like I just, and I feel like I'm here. It's why I don't, I don't engage a lot in like bad social media trolls and behavior, and that's something that you've helped me, and I think what Nikazi was born out of with me, you, Katie, and Andrea was just like trying to combat a lot of the negative energy and try to bring in positive energy. But like, I will fight it. Like, when I see people coming for us or fans of ours that are just speaking their truth and trying to be positive, like, I'm ready to burn the house down for anyone. Yeah. Guys, you want me to burn the house down for you? I will. I'm ready. I've been wanting to for months.
Burn the house down, boots for your nerves. Yes, God.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I do, I think we're lucky to be a part of a show and kind of knowing, which we can't say, but knowing our storylines for this season and it being awesome.
Azie, I'm so excited.
I know. Don't say anything, though.
I'm not going to.
But I do know that the fans will be super happy. And along the subject of all the things we're saying and how important it is to tell these stories, and how much we care, and how much chyler cares, and how much we spend hours on the phone talking about these things, and how involved we are, and how it's important. Like, media is important, and representation is important. And
I am so happy to be where I am. And there's nothing that I would rather be doing right now than just getting to, run around in a super suit and play make-believe with you guys.
I mean, the fact that you're a superhero is
crazy, right?
It's a pride celebration within itself. Let's just be real, right?
I mean, facts are facts. Let's just speak that truth.
Have you ever talked about publicly when you found out about getting the role and you knew you'd be the first trans superhero? Have you ever talked about
that? Want to hear the story? Okay.
Yes, I do, because I don't think I know it.
Yeah, so I was in, picture it, Los Angeles, 2018. It was the best of times. It was Los Angeles, 2018. A beautiful brunette-haired beauty lays in bed, a long evening of vampiring behind her.
Somebody just wrote story time. Yeah.
No, so I was working on bit, and you just done a night shoot. Funny thing about vampire movies, night shoots.
I know.
So it was really, really early. I had just gotten back at like 5 a.m. And I was asleep, and my agents called me. I was like just hitting that like good like REM sleep.
Yeah.
Nia knows what I'm talking about. And
yeah.
And my agents called me and they said that I got the part. Mind you, this was like a day after I just gone in for my callback with Robert and Jessica. So the next day they called me and they were said, hey, you got the part. And I was like, yeah. And went back to sleep.
Of course you did. Nicole loves her sleep, you guys. We have a group chat that will be lit up, and Nicole will chime in around 2 p.m. and be like, hey guys, what I miss?
What are we doing? What's up? What's happening?
Just getting up.
Yeah.
No, I believe that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm so tired. And it didn't sink in for a long time. It still doesn't really sink in. I still have moments where I'm on set where I'm like, huh? What? Huh? Do you remember when we were filming the 100th episode? It was all of us in the Tower of Justice, and Rain had just like dove in, and she was like heat visioning us. And I put up that shield for the first time, and we had the fans going, and everyone was yelling, and there was paper and dust flying everywhere. I just had this moment. It was like an out of body experience where I was like, oh my God. I am holding up the shield. I'm standing next to like Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, Monel of Daxam, like Nix's Piddleick is right over there. Like it was insane.
Aww.
And I just had like this cool moment where like my hair was whipping, and I was like, first of all, more beautiful than I'd ever felt in my life.
You felt like Beyonce. You felt like Beyonce, that man on you.
It is a high that I am constantly after. To feel like Beyonce again. I mean, I almost I was just like, ooh, 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 ooh.
That was an epic day. I mean, we had also shot that before, because we shot it in 2 parts. So you're talking about the day when everyone's there, because we had one where it was just me, you, Chyler, and Jesse.
That was also
the day before Thanksgiving. That was really fun because I got to do stunts for the first time, and poor Jesse.
You were good at it too. Girl.
I mean, I posted that video of you and Chyler sitting and yelling, "Yes, girl!" when I was doing all my things.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you guys, Azie was doing her like first like shield moment, and there was like a strobe light going, and Chyler and I were just in the background and we were filming, and we were like, "Yes, queen, work! You look so good, mama! Now twirl, Azie, twirl! Yeah!"
yes.
It was amazing.
They were like, "You guys don't have to stay on set," and you and Chyler were like, "Oh no, we're good. We'll sit right. We're literally sitting right by."
It was so good. It was amazing. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you like froze
I'm back.
For a minute. Hi.
My Wi-Fi wasn't on, guys. What an amateur move! I just put it on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
God.
But why it's so amazing that you're the first trans superhero is because being a superhero has so much power. Not just the Beyonce fan, but like being able to help.
Let's call a spade a spade. The Beyonce fan is most of the power.
Yeah, it's true. Most of her swag comes from those fans on the stages. Because when there's you guys know, if you have a fan in your house right now, go put it on. Put your hair down and just like
put your like flowiest outfit on. Take your hair down, stand in front of that fan, and tell me you don't feel like Beyonce.
Yeah. It's powerful.
That's how you celebrate Pride, honey.
That is how, yeah. I wonder if there's like a fan that you could clip into your belt or something that just like fans you as you walk. Just trying to
Why would you give away such $1 million idea on an Instagram live?
I'm just
trying to someone a millionaire.
You know what? I hope the right person, like a selfie stick, but a fan, and you can clip it to your belt.
Oh. And it holds your phone. It's a selfie stick and a fan, and so you're taking the selfie while it gets.
Girl,
chills, goosebumps.
You just reminded me of that, and
So anyway,
Me too. I hadn't seen it till you showed it to me. It's so good. I hadn't seen the full one. Yeah. Well, this was fun. Is there anything else? My comments froze. I don't know if you can still see things.
Yeah, I can still see things. Sure. I'm going to take a peek in our little questions tab and see if anybody...
Just skip over anything that may not be nice, because who knows? Who knows the days of people?
You guys should do a Disney off between Nicole and Melissa based on the interview from the 100th episode party.
Oh yeah.
Listen. I
would never sing against her. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying trivia.
No,
okay.
They're like
I love you,
trivia.
but I will. Okay, I was like, Nicole, I love you enough to not let you think that you could win that.
You kidding me?
Okay, good.
The first time I met Melissa was at 2018 Comic-Con, and she'd just come from Broadway. I'm not trying to fool myself. I remember when we were we carpooled on our way to Andrea's baby shower, and we were singing Wicked.
I just got scared. I was like,
what?
I don't know. I just get scared about like people.
Oh, by the way, Andrea had a baby. Spoiler.
Okay, good. Yes. People know that. People know that. I was like, oh my God, are we allowed to say that Andrea had a baby? Yes.
Yeah. Viola like pops up behind me and she's like,
Aunt fail.
Can we get t-shirts that say Aunt fail?
We should, because that's literally us. We're just trying to, not mess her up, pretty much. I mean,
Honestly.
she's doing better than we are.
I'm so happy though. Andrea sent me a picture of like one of her favorite toys is like the stuffed Winnie the Pooh that I got her when I was at Disneyland, and she's like, Nicole, it's one of her favorites, and it brings me so much joy.
Oh my God, I just got very competitive with you, because you know how we were competitive with Ush. And we had both gotten him toys for his birthday, and he was pictures of which toy he took to bed. So I get very competitive with the favorite stuffed animals. It's like our aunt competition.
Because we have no life, we have no love in our own lives.
Yeah, and
we only know how to give to others.
Yes, we're generous. We're generous souls. Is how I like to think of it. It's
just
the positive givers.
But yeah, so we were on our way we were carpooling. We were singing Wicked, and I just like had this moment where we were doing Defying Gravity. She hit. She did it. Like Adina who? I only know Melissa. And I was
Adina just sat up somewhere in quarantine.
We were doing it, and I was just kind of like, if you can find me back to the sky. It was like, I really hope she doesn't notice that I'm not singing.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you put yourself out there like that. But a Disney trivia thing I'm down for. I didn't know any of the information. I got one answer right, and that was the one that they aired. God bless them. I just kept guessing the wrong thing. I don't know. I'm always like, where are we? What are we doing, Nicole? Like, what? Yeah. What month is it? What day is it? What show are we on? Who is that? What's happening?
Who's this? Who are you? What's that? Huh? Wow.
Okay, I'm just. I'm like an old grumpy grandma that's just like, who took my dentures? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not stable. The world's a mess. Yeah. That's pretty much me. Oh, I'm like 10 times worse now, given the state of the world.
Oh, girl.
I know.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've been doing nothing but Disney. That's been my quarantine. I think I've watched Beauty and the Beast 5 times.
Wow. That's a lot.
Listen, Beauty and the Beast hits different when you're in a pillow fort. It just... Also, okay, we're going to have this conversation. I have no time for anyone who says that, Beauty and the Beast is a bad movie because Stockholm Syndrome. No, I have watched that movie back to back to back to back to back. She held him accountable through that whole movie. He was a jerk to her right from the start. And he was like, you're going to come together. You're going to come to dinner. And she was like, am I? No. And throughout the whole thing, he was like, well, you shouldn't have gone to the West Wing. And she was like, well, you shouldn't have you should control your temper.
Oh, maybe I need to rewatch it.
She was fully just like not here. And even Gaston,
you know what it sounds
terrible
like?
Throughout the whole thing. And she's like, oh, I don't deserve you. And I'm like, yes, girl, you don't deserve him. You deserve the best. Notice
it sounds like
she is one vowel away from Beast.
That's deep, Nicole. It sounds like she's exercising really good boundaries.
Yeah.
Which is a lesson all young girls should learn. Boundaries.
Oh, have I watched Mulan? Yes, I watched Mulan too. I've done all of them. I've gone through all the old Disney movies. And I've love. Last night I watched Princess and the Frog again. I really like that one.
I'm behind.
It's really good.
I know we've had this conversation because, yeah, I need to get on it.
If you need a Disney Plus account, you can use mine.
Are we allowed to talk about what we binge watch on this account if it's not words? I just binge watched, I'm going to say it, Rami, and it was amazing. And it's a Hulu Plus show, and it talks about, it's a comedy, but it's incredible, and it's a first-generation Egyptian-American Muslim man, and it is so brilliant, and it is the definition of why representation is important, and I want to only make shows like that, because it's important. I came on here for us to talk about pride and representation, and the fact that we're lucky enough to tell these stories, and the fights that we've been privately and publicly kind of doing for human rights, but media is such a big part of this, and representation matters in every aspect, like a Egyptian Muslim man and getting to tell that story of in New Jersey, like something that seems so specific but is so relatable, right? Because you're a marginalized human, you feel oppressed in so many different ways, and so just seeing those stories with lead characters in those roles, the game changer. I need more of that. Right? We need more of that. We need more of these marginalized characters in lead roles. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Say it. Not supporting roles, lead roles. My comments are frozen, so I don't know what people are saying, but
they're for it.
Okay.
They're all about it.
Because it's true. It's important. It's important to show these stories as a central storyline. It's important to show these stories as a priority, worlds that revolve around this, not just as add-on, characters, I think, and I hope that these things happen and that we get our own spinoff.
Kelly and Mia, take the world.
I mean, talk about the most, but I'm just like,
Hang on. Chyler just like somewhere out in the world, just her ears perked up, and she was like, totally. She looked up from her Nintendo, and she was like,
yeah. Yep.
That is the sign of coming doom, ladies and gentlemen. If Chyler looks up from her Switch,
you guys with your video. I don't understand the video game.
It's so fun.
I know. I got to get into it. When we go back to Vancouver, I'll come over and play the games that the kids play.
You have to come over. Stas and I, we do Mario Kart night. It's great. I order pizza. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, listen, we're going to be quarantining, so we really only can hang out with each other. Not that that's not what we did already.
Yeah.
But
hey, girl, come quarantine at my place.
Yeah.
2 weeks sleepover. I
mean, it's hardcore. I'm ready though. I'm ready to get back to work. I'm excited to get back and tell these stories and fight in the way that we can and continue.
Season 6 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, all the stuff we do offline.
Yeah,
it's just important, and I just wanted to come on and encourage people to keep fighting the good fight. Pride is celebration, Pride is celebration, and we have some work to do, and we got to get human rights equal. And it's so crazy to say that in 2020, but 2020 feels like a wash in so many ways. And so the unified goal for us all is equal human rights. And
yeah, I think the goal for 2020 is this needs to be the last year like this. I think we need to just put it all out there, and we just need to, moving forward, I don't know how else, after all of this, we're going to be able to explain that you should care about other people.
Yeah, and that change is happening, and we're not going to get tired. We cover each other as a family and as a tribe, and when one is resting and hydrating, we pick up and keep fighting. But we have to keep fighting, and we've come far already, and we have a long way to go, and it's a marathon. But that it's important, and what are we going to tell our kids and the next generation that we did in this fight, in this moment?
Yeah, where were you?
What were you doing? What was your belief system? What side were you on? Were you on the side of right? Because to me, it's when people try to argue that there's a right or a wrong side, I'm like, there's only right. There's a right side. When people try to argue what's right or wrong, I'm like, no, there's a clear right side, which is that all human beings are equal and should be given equal and the same humane rights. And then there's the wrong side, anything else. And I think what's happening right now, which is so amazing, is people are realizing that just believing that isn't enough. You have to be actively anti-racist. You have to actively fight for rights of people that don't have the same that you do. If someone isn't allowed to be married to the love of their life or raise a child with them, then that's your battle too, and you need to fight along with it. I am getting worked up. This is what happens when I'm in all caps, you guys.
Yes.
This is what it looks like. Nicole, do the clap, because I'm holding my phone.
Yes, this is what it looks like. All
Thank you.
Caps, Azie.
Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. You get worked up, and I'm just here to provide the claps.
Yeah, because I'm holding my phone, so I only have one hand, but yeah.
I'm so excited to get back to work, girl. It's going to be so much fun.
I know, I miss you. It'll be fun to see you again. Quarantining is it'll be fun to have it with you and with the girls. And yeah.
We're going to do our Taco Fino day, and it's going to be great.
Don't just be dropping the places we go.
They don't know which one.
That's true. There's multiple locations. I was going to say, because we go
Plot twist, all of them.
Okay. It's true.
We go
to the same 3 or 4 places.
We rent a car and we make the rounds. We go to each one.
It's true.
And we just get a bunch so one spot doesn't judge us for how much we get.
Yeah. I mean, especially Nikazi, we pretty much eat at the same and drink at the same places over and over and over again.
We like routine.
We're creatures of habit.
Creatures of habit, creatures of comfort.
A tequila and some tacos and some true crime. It's our Friday night.
It's Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday through Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. So true.
It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Like we lived in quarantine before it was quarantine.
Preparing.
We were preparing, and now we're just going back into it. It's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for coming and wrapping up my takeover with me. It's been really, really fun. We've had
I wouldn't do it for anyone else. I love you so much. I always got you, girl, and I'll always show up where you are and chat. And I'm glad we got to talk about your awesomeness and some of the stuff that I don't think people knew, because it's such a hard time, and I just want to provide some light, and you are such a light. And so if I could Oprah that moment so that people know what a light you are.
You're the best, Oprah. You deserve all the shows.
I love you so much.
I love you too. I miss you so much.
I'll FaceTime you tomorrow, per usual, but not with people watching.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, hon.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us. That was a little longer than I expected it to be, but that's what happens when Azie and I get together. If this was not an Instagram Live, we probably would have talked for another 4 hours, because that's just what ends up happening. But thank you guys so much for joining me for this takeover for the day. I hope you guys are celebrating Pride and you had a good day. I hope that this has filled you with, a lot of pride. There's not a lot of synonyms for pride. But yeah, I hope you guys are feeling proud of your community. I hope you guys are feeling proud of yourselves. And, I'm just so thankful to be able to be doing what we're doing. And I am really excited to get back to Vancouver and continue, putting together the show, get started on season 6 so we can, keep giving these stories to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys again for joining me. Have a good rest of your night. And I'm going to sign out as soon as I figure out which button to press. This one.